Okay, hey y'all. This is just you guys this time, whoever has questions or anything. I didn't have anything. Like I said, office hours is just like you can drop in, ask questions, share your screen. If you want to check levels, zones, ask anything in particular, feel free. It's usually not too many of us in here, so like let me see how many. Yeah, like usually like less than 10. So feel free to just unmute and go with whatever you want to ask.
Um, Good afternoon, Candice.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? I'm new to the boot camp and I'm trying to finish the boot camp right now. And you mentioned that you're gonna start a challenge like for next month, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to have a little bit more explanation. How is it gonna be done?
The small account challenge?
Yes, please, because it's my first time here.
Oh, okay. Well, if you're like very new, you haven't even gotten through the videos yet, you might want to first do that and do the small account challenge on a demo account. But essentially, we're just using this because this is like a beginner kind of lesson, a beginner community. And so we're just using the small account to learn account management versus going in through a prop firm. So with prop firms, you kind of get access to be able to use big contracts really quickly. And sometimes with beginners, especially like I know it happened to me, it happened to a lot of other beginner traders, you kind of blow your account a lot because you want to make money faster and you're not really focused on just the mechanics of trading and taking good thought out trades. So the goal here is to start with a small amount of capital, like at least $200, and to flip it using the micro contracts, ES micro contracts, which require a margin of only $50 per contract. We'll be just trading very conservatively, taking one trade per day. And obviously, this is just the baseline guidelines. If you are more advanced, you can trade however you want. But we'll be trading really conservatively, taking one trade per day off of fresh zones with really good confirmation, looking to capture at least 5 to 10 points per move and just repeat, rinse and repeat every day. The point is just to build good trading habits. One trade, the point of that is so that you're not revenge trading. If you take a loss for the day, it's so that you're making sure that you're taking trades that you actually have a plan for, that you're not just panic trading when price gets there, that you're thinking about your entries, and it's keeping the money kind of small, right? When you trade micros, price can move 1 point in your favor or out of your favor, but it's only a $5 gain or loss. So we're trying to keep the money out of it. Like obviously we want to make some money. It's going to be a smaller gains than if we were using mini contracts, but the point is to build good habits so that when you get up to the point of using mini contracts, you'll have already been like a pro by this time at trading. So you can do it with a demo account or your own money. And I would suggest starting with at least $200.
Okay, I will start with the demo because I'm basically totally new.
Yeah.
So thank you, and I will be watching very closely from the chat and everything. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. I can share my screen here, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so let me, okay, I gotta send a request.
Oh, hold on. My bad. Let me. Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Now share again.
Okay, so when I'm looking at this chart, my question is like, so this was the 1 hour demand that you found today, right?
Hmm.
So like I see like it's would this be considered like voluminous, the way it's moving right now?
Oh, so the 1 hour demand from this morning,
Yeah.
I think
This is it right here, right?
I've already taken it off my chart. Hold on, let me go back to my chart and find where it was. just to double check. Yeah, oh, was it 55, 1775? I believe.
Oh, yeah, I'm at 55555. You said 5517.
I think so. Hold on, let me go back. I took it off my chart, so I have to go back and find it again. One second.
Okay. Right, so that would be a 1 hour supply, but
Oh,
after,
God, where was that? It was a 1 hour supply that we were looking at. Hold on.
well,
My bad, my bad. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Okay, here it is. 55, 47, 50.
55, 47, 50.
Was that it?
See, no, the one I was referring to, I see, well, I don't know if it looks like it was a supply. So it was at, well, it looks like it was at 5, 5547050.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, so that one, that was a 1 hour supply that we were looking at. So you look like you have a 1 hour demand. Was that?
Right. Yeah, I was referring to this one. So after it passes this, does it turn into a demand? Or
Oh,
is
okay.
it like
Gotcha.
how would that work? Because I see it like it's reacting off of it here. Well, yeah, I see it's reacting here. So like,
Okay, so let's do this. So we're on the 1 hour chart, and if these last three candles weren't there, the red and the two greens, right? And we
yeah,
were just looking at these two that you found, this would actually be a supply
right.
because the candle that had the big move that like kind of overtook the other candle was a red candle, a selling candle.
Okay.
So
And that's
that's
on
a
the lower
supply.
time.
Now, the way that we mark a supply is going to be at the open body of the green candle that came before it. Okay.
Yes, can I just give a one to get, because sometimes when you plot it like that, you don't get the accurate
Yeah.
price, Candy. So what I did is, you see the magnet that's on the side to
Hmm.
your left hand side. Click on the magnets
Under that, right
under
under
that.
that
This
one.
one.
Mhm.
Yes, click on this. Click on the arrow.
Change it.
So I have mine set to see it goes accurately to the open or the close. I have mine on wick magnet. Leave it on wick magnet. Yes. Yes,
Okay.
so if you take a line,
Take your drawing tool, your drawing one.
if you use the line, it will, yes, it will put it directly on the open of
Okay.
a candle, directly on the wick of a candle, like the horizontal ray.
So it's, yep, that's a good. Nadell uses TradingView, so she's got all the TradingView tips.
Okay.
This is the trend line though. Do a horizontal line,
Yeah, do the horizontal ray.
the one right to the right of it, horizontal ray. The one on the right, that's the right one, right? Yep.
This one.
Yeah, horizontal ray.
And you say you're putting it at the open of the last green
No,
candle.
it will automatically, like once you hovering over it, like it will just attract to the open, or it will attract, if you're hovering over the wick, it will attract directly to the wick, so it will attract to the accurate price.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful.
Yeah, so when you do the supplies, you're doing it at the open body and it's going down. Yeah. So make sure though that when you're charting them, you also chart um the full zone as well, or at least that you know where the full zone is in your mind, which is going to be at the top of, yep, at the top of the highest wick. Because now that price has sliced through that zone, the reason I took it off my chart is because it's, yep, it's because it's invalid.
Okay.
That zone is invalid to me. And it's true that in some cases, um, I use zones like when I was talking this morning, I was saying if price comes outside of the zone, if it invalidates it and then it comes back into the zone, you can use it as support or resistance, right? For a continuation. But this demand also had excuse me, this supply also had a 4 hour supply sitting on top of it that was very wide. So in this case, I wouldn't use it for that purpose. And after this one is gone, I would just delete it off of the chart after it's been invalidated. Let's find, you see that 4 hour supply right there? It's kind of
Sure.
overlapping. Nope, to the right. It's overlapping our 1 hour zone. Keep going, two more right there.
That's fine.
Yep. And so this zone is overlapping our 1 hour zone. And so that's why once that 1 hour got invalidated, I would just delete it.
So this would be the zone for the supply.
Um, Move it up to, yep, still the open body of the candle. Right there. And then your 2 wicks go higher. Your 2 wicks on those. Yep. Yeah. So you see how that zone overlaps that 1 hour zone that we had?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
So
So
you
that's
wouldn't, okay, so you wouldn't count the 1 hour like as like completely valid?
yeah, that's invalid now.
Okay.
Once price sliced through it, yeah.
Well, dang, now I forgot my question. So I wasn't even charting right. Okay. All right. Let me unshare.
Okay. But yeah, that's good. That's what, yeah, get practice charting and all that stuff. That was good. I see people have been asking about, because Nadell, you use Heiken Ashi candles. So I think I'm gonna add a channel to where it says education and just put some information about them there. Because a lot of futures traders do use those. I know a couple. There's one, if any, I know you guys know, like on the online trading scene, Crystal Academy is like an options trading group, but they have a guy in there named Jaden.
Jaden, yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't he focus on Heiken Ashi like when he trades?
Yes, actually, I first learned from him. So I first learned about it and his strategy from him.
Okay, yeah. So he uses Heiken Ashi. He uses indicators also to trade, like in EMAs and stuff, right? Stuff like that.
Yeah, and the MACD, I think, as well.
Yeah.
And then the MACD, yeah.
Yeah. He's an indicators and indicator and EMA trader. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
like so many different ways. There's so many different ways to trade, guys. So that's what I'm saying. Like this is just one strategy, supply and demand. So once you get really comfortable, like you can go explore all types of other strategies.
Hey Candace, I have a question. Let me go look at what you had said in your, yeah, the 30-minute demand this morning at 5536.
Mhm.
I was watching that happen and I didn't take it because I didn't really see any spike in volume going into the zone. And so I guess I thought I had heard you say that earlier, maybe last week, but I guess I'm just wondering what that threshold is for you to be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take this.
55. I don't know which one you're talking about. I'm trying to, man, I took that one out too. When I have office hours, I need to just keep everything on the chart.
The,
I
the
was
sold off from the supply, it went to the 30-minute demand, the 5536. I think that's what she's talking about.
yeah, 5536. And I've overlapped it with something else. Hold on one second. I remember where it is though. Okay, here it is. All right. Do, do, do. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so now I've got this was another 30-minute demand that formed, and there's a 5 minute inside. So that's what you guys see right here. But this, like if this was not here, right, there was a level right here, 553.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somewhere. I'm just gonna put
I
something.
got it on my chart, so I can see.
Oh, so you know where it is. Okay, it was
Yeah.
like right here at the bottom.
Yeah.
And so when and I was on a work call at the time, so I actually couldn't trade it. I would have traded it when we got there. But the only thing that I would be looking for, man, this is in the way. Let me try to do this so you guys can see the volume bars. The only thing that I would be looking for is as these bars got closer. So you see how these have like wicks, top, bottom. I would be looking for full-bodied wick, full-bodied candles like
Okay.
this. So this would be number one, that we see nice full-bodied candle movements. And
Okay.
then number two, that our volume down here is increasing. Um, it's nice to see stuff like this. Like when we went, we had a 30-minute supply about here early
Mm-hmm.
in the day. And so it's nicer when we have like a really big spike like this. So we had
Right.
two full body candles and a big spike, but at the same time, this was like an hour after opening. When we're looking at things, the volume in general to kind of slow down a little bit, it's going to be higher, lower, and then get higher toward the end of the day. So just seeing that we had a rising volume here relative, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
on these candles that were going in, that were coming
Okay.
right here. Yeah, I just want to see like the trend. If we don't have a really big one, full body plus a trend is okay.
Okay, got it. That
Does
makes
that make
sense.
sense? We got
Yeah.
steps.
And you just mentioned 5 minute. Are you always looking at the 5 minute? Like, how often are you marking 5 minute zones?
No, so if we have a 30-minute demand that's this wide, you see how this
Okay.
is kind of wide. Sometimes I'll go in and look for a 15-minute or a 5-minute inside just
Okay.
to give myself some direction. But I do not trade, absolutely do not trade for five.
Okay, I was just making sure. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I was upset that I missed this one.
Hi, Candace.
Me
Let me,
too.
I have a question. So with the challenge, just a silly question, but with $1,000, what would you advise someone's risk to be?
You said with 1,000?
Yes.
So think about how much you're willing to risk to lose on a trade. Like if you only want to lose, let's say 10% of your account, which is like $100 or so, trading MES, you can then determine how much you want to risk on the account. So for instance, if you're willing to lose up to $100 per trade, when you're trading MES, that gives you a 20-point stop loss threshold, right? If you're trading one contract. If you're trading two MES contracts, that gives you a 10-point stop loss threshold. So that's something you have to ask yourself. Look at your like loss history, like what's the general amount of points that you will lose or dollar amount that you will lose. Like for me, I'm a little bit riskier. So like with $1,000 account, like I would be willing to risk maybe up to $200 per trade, which people use percentages and things like, oh, that's 20% of your account. That's so much. Um, but I know that I can turn around, trade again, you know what I mean? And still be comfortable with that amount. So I would suggest not risking more than two MES, but you can be more, I wouldn't suggest being more aggressive than that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Um, so when you're going through, I think I'm a little confused on the actual execution part. So once you go in the morning, you go through each time zone, you identify any fresh zones, you remove any zones that have been broken through or tested. So
Mhm.
now you got your zones. You're still looking for new ones, but now what? So the actual execution part. So once you identify, okay, we're getting close to a certain zone or retest of the zone, do you now pull up your broker platform? And then do you also mark it on your broker platform? Or like what exactly does that actual execution part look like?
Okay, sure. So it depends on your setup. So I'm watch the trade fully on here. If you have like a trading view, you can watch the trade however you want. I think if you have trading view, you can even execute with your broker on trading view.
Yeah.
But if using Thinkorswim, as
Yep.
it's getting closer, I go ahead and I open my broker at the same time as I open my chart. I just leave it to the side. I don't mark up any levels on my broker chart. Um, at all. I just simply enter and exit the trade you in my broker chart. And like even if I'm like on the run or something or out traveling, I would even enter or exit on my phone, um, on the app or on the web version. I use NinjaTrader. So as it's getting closer, I'm preparing myself by making sure I have my bracket ready, like where I want to take profit, and making sure my stop loss is wide enough. Because for instance, let's say I was going to trade this, I would want to make sure, like as it was getting closer, I would make sure my stop loss was wider than 49 down to 35, was, over 15 points, so that once I place my trade, I would go on my broker and adjust my stop loss to this bracket, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So that's when you would do, is that when you enter the ATM strategy? So you
Yeah.
would press buy or sell, and then you would turn on the ATM strategy to whatever you have it set to. I think in the example that you did on the videos, it was like a 5 point profit is what
Yeah.
you had called it.
Yeah, and you make sure that your ATM is set first. Like it's usually a little drop down. You just make sure you choose the one that you want first. And after you enter, like so once you enter, then like your little order lines will appear. And at that point, I adjust my order lines however I want them. So let's say my stop loss ended up cutting through this zone. I would just go through, use the little toggle button and move it down. As let's say it was like a really good trade, we have a lot of room to the upside. So I want more than a $5 profit. I would move my take profit, you know, further away. And then as the trade is moving, I would adjust my stop loss manually as well. Now you can use like auto trailing stop losses. I don't use those because I'm typically, like I said, I'm like at work. Sometimes I'm on a call and I want to, like manually enter or exit my trade. But you can look into using like making your brackets even smarter, like making them auto trail after a certain amount of profit.
Mhm. Okay, cool.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks. And then just a quick second question. For when you're drawing your rectangles, is there a way to automatically have them extend all the way out to the right? Or do you
Oh,
have to like manually do it all the time? Do you know what I mean?
I come into edit and like don't pay attention to anything else that's on the screen. Just pay attention to this one date field.
Yep.
And you can either press the plus button. Every time you press plus, it extends it out by 1 day. Sometimes I'll like just press it a million times. And then sometimes I'll actually say, like, okay, actually extend this out to June.
Oh, nice. Okay,
And
cool.
yeah. And I
Perfect.
can't see it now, but it extended it out, pretty far.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Yep. Yeah, like it's gone. Yeah, so I need to turn this off. Man, we are still in this. Oops, sorry. Let me turn my phone down. Still in this channel. Looks like this 30-minute demand that we have here is like sitting right on top of this 2 hour. If anyone trades in the afternoon, like after this, I'm gonna have to go because work, unfortunately. But yeah, if anyone trades in the afternoon, I've been noticing we've been getting some pretty good moves in the afternoon as well. Does anybody here trade the afternoon power hour, quote unquote? No.
No, well, I don't. But
Uh,
there are nice clean moves I've realized for real, like 2 p.m.
Yeah, like between 2 and 4.
There are some nice clean moves,
I
literally.
know. I'm always mad when I wake up. Anybody trade overnight? Like the Asian session, London session?
London session, you get nice moves. And to be honest, I've seen some good moves in Asian as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's one thing I haven't done is like try to expand into other sessions outside of New York Open.
I am not waking up for London session. I have done trading London session and it's back in Forex.
Yeah,
Waking up to trade, the London, hell no.
I know. It's the girl up here I follow. Her name is, well, not up here on TikTok, Wealth Building Rockstar. and she just started trading, I think, the Asian session.
Asian, yes, I see her. She pops up on my For You page sometimes.
Yeah.
It's NQ.
Yeah, she does. She trades like only fair value gaps.
Yes.
It's so funny. Like it's so interesting how many different ways there are.
I know, right? To trade, it
Yeah.
really all comes down to your psychology.
I know, my gosh. Another one here on the 30. Are they get is it? I wonder if we're gonna break out of this channel today. There's some economist guy, and he's predicting that we'll get up to 7,000 before we like crash really hard.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I'm not worried about that because, that's not how I trade, but it's just interesting to hear. But yeah, 7,000, he's been predicting it forever that it's going to be like such a strong, powerful move up. I'm like 2,000 points. That's crazy.
You know, right? Well, it's money to be made.
I know. I'm like, maybe I just need to buy some shares. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But yeah, guys, we're just running our mouth talking. Like, feel free if you have any questions or anything.
I was just about to ask, when is Power Hour?
Power hour is technically it's just a 1 hour, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, okay.
But I've noticed that sometimes the moves can happen between like 2 p.m. They can start as early as 2 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take a look at that because I'm on the West Coast, so it's
Oh yeah.
pretty early.
Yeah, so like if you like take a look at the volume down here, you see how it's high in the morning and then high like at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
High in the morning, high at the very end. That's like, yeah, power hour. Same pattern every day. So if you want like volatility,
Okay,
yep.
cool. I'll try it out.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. A lot of options traders like power hour because like the moves have to happen in a short period of time.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to, so I think I'm getting overwhelmed looking at all the different time frames. Um, is there, I know you say the 2 hour, the 30 minute,
And the
just,
four.
and I'm not even trading it. I'm just still trying to get things down. Is there like a good one that I could just focus on until I actually get comfortable and know what I'm doing instead of bouncing, or is the bouncing around kind of what you have to do to know the levels?
So if you just want to get used to looking at the levels and watching and seeing how they react, you can start looking at the 30-minute. That's going to give you more opportunities to watch and see
Okay.
how price reacts. You're going to get like a couple of new zones and levels every day. And like a lot of times they're pretty reliable in terms of getting a nice move, like, 5 to 15 points or so,
Okay.
depending. So yeah, I would definitely do that. Let me see, like, let me clear test. All right, so now this one is totally empty. Let me move this alert. Watch, as soon as I remove it, I'm gonna need it. I'll remove it. Okay. So if we look at, I'm on the 30-minute now. And so as you can see, like here's a supply level right here. And oh, sorry, a demand level. I don't want to mess you guys up. It opened at 55.3675. So I'm just gonna mark it. And I'm gonna mark here we go. I'll mark the zone and the stop loss. And so just practice. Let me do like this. There we go. Go down to lower time frames and just practice watching how time reacts. I mean, how price reacts at your zones. So, okay. Just with the 30-minute, the one thing to keep in mind is that a lot of times these zones get hit very quickly after they're created. Like sometimes it takes a little bit, but a lot of times it doesn't. So just keep in mind that the zone was created within these two candles, the 9 and 9:30. 9:30 ends at 10 o'clock. So the earliest you would want to look over here, like some people get confused. They say, well, like all these candles are in my zone already, but these candles created the zone. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, these candles were the ones that made up these two. So, or some of these if I count them out. Yeah. So we wouldn't be looking to trade anything before 10 o'clock. This was our wild news candle, but it didn't quite touch it. So you would instead watch to see how price is reacting the next time it comes to your zone. It's a 30-minute demand. We're looking for buys, and so we can watch how it bounced out. And if we go back to other days, like here's one here. Here's a 30-minute supply that came midday. And we mark the open of this candle, 55, 15, 25. This is a 30-minute supply. And I'm going to mention something else too. Give me 1 second. Okay. So we've got this 30-minute supply zone here. Oh, thought I had a rectangle. Okay, this was 428. Let's go back. All right, this was right here. All right. And so our supply was formed here. Okay. And then once price got back into it, and again, this is the 5-minute. You can look on the 5-minute or lower, 5-minute or 1 minute. And then we pushed right back out of that zone for a little over 20 points, 15, almost 25 points. So something else to pay attention to with your 30-minute levels, they work very, very well in a trend, like really well. 30-minute and 15-minute levels work very well in trends. And what I mean is you've got a supply zone that formed here and you're already in a downtrend, you see, before that. So that's just something else to keep in mind. Like as you're just learning, looking at these, a lot of times these bigger levels are going to be really strong bounce zones, independent of the trend, but 30-minute, 15-minute levels, 5-minute levels. Some people like trading 5-minute levels. 5-minute levels too work really well with the trend.
Okay.
Yep. And then we had one here. I think I traded this one that day. I traded this 30-minute level that day. They're all over. Yeah, but then like try to add in the 2-hour too, you know? Like add in one at a time.
I will try that.
Okay, Candace. Okay, can I share my screen again?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want you to see how I'm doing this and just make sure. Just
Okay.
make sure I'm doing this right. So okay, so
Not my share. Go ahead.
you start at the 12-hour demand and make your way down, right? To find your levels.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh, are these are regular candles or are these
did I switch it? I think I switched it.
okay, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that was my other question. What's the difference between Heikin-Ashi and like just a candle? Like, what's the difference?
So Heiken Ashi candles are really good candles to use for entries because they can help you confirm your entry because what they do is they smooth out price action. Yeah, you see how your candles are left red, green, red, green. Heiken Ashi candles smooth out the trend for you. Like you can see that's why they seem like they're grouped. And it can help you confirm your entries by letting you know, okay, like I'm going into a supply, I'm currently in a downtrend.
Okay.
Also, specific candles. Nadell, you can talk to this too because you actually use them. The
Yeah.
way they're formed. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like volume-based candles. So it doesn't have the opening and close like how a normal candle would have. You have your opening, you have your close. It's volume-based. So the candle that is formed is based on the volume. So which one is winning? Is it buyers or is it selling? So it will show you that based on the body of the candle. So I usually use them for my entries. So if you're going to like draw your supply zones on there, it wouldn't be accurate. So
Okay.
you can use them for your entries if price is in a, near supply. You usually see like the strength, and also you will actually see the change of structure. So when price changes from an uptrend to a downtrend, you will see that as well.
Okay.
And I usually use it for my entries and to hold my trades. Because if I am seeing the up down on normal candles, yeah, it does something to my psychology.
Okay.
But I use them for my entries and to hold onto my trades for longer moves.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So if I'm looking for my supply levels at the 12-hour mark, I noticed sometimes I don't know how far back to go. Do I just go back as far as it'll let me, or this is a demand level here, right?
It is, but that's like what we call a doji demand. I
Okay.
don't particularly use doji demands because they're not indicative of like really like strong zones. But your question about how far do you have to go back? You only have to go back as far as you need to find a level relative to price. So if you look at where price is now, yeah, you're up there.
Yeah.
So I would start where price is sitting currently and I would kind of walk my candles back. And so that demand zone there would be the first one I would mark.
Okay.
And then that one that you have below would be the last one that I would mark. Because that would give me like two areas. That would give me, if this area fails, then I have another one below it that I'm looking at. Just like yesterday, that 4-hour zone failed, but the 1-hour zone right below it bounced price like 40 points.
Okay. These will both be demand levels.
Yeah, those will both be, you're on the 12, those will both be 12-hour demand levels, yeah.
And then so my supply level would be
So
that's another doji. So you would skip this one, that one.
So, yeah, so okay, so this is a good question. So for supply levels, I would also only be looking wherever price is I would only be looking above that level. The reason why is because if you go down below and you actually mark that zone, we'll see that price has already sliced through and invalidated those zones that are under there.
Okay.
So I'd only be looking above.
And you wouldn't count this one because this wick is much bigger than the.
Yeah, I wouldn't count that.
Oh.
Now, some supply and demand traders, because you have that long wick there on that red candle, you see it? That tall one at the top. Some supply and demand traders would count that as a zone itself. The open body of that red candle at the right there, because of that wick. They would count that as the zone. The wick itself would be the zone. Yeah.
Okay, this whole entire wick.
Yeah.
I'm not on that level yet. I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, I don't do that
So
either.
keep going. It would be like back this
No,
one.
keep going. Nope, that would be a demand, but price has already sliced down through it, so it would be invalid. That's why whenever I'm looking, like I don't even look at the price at the levels that come in between the top and the bottom because I already know inherently that price has sliced through those levels so far.
So okay, so a supply level is always green with the engulfing red,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
demand is always red with an engulfing green.
Yes, always.
So
Mhm.
just because this is high, or where was I? Just because I don't know which one I was looking at just now. That was a demand level. So, okay, so here. This
Mhm.
that's supply, no. I was just looking at one. Where'd it go?
To the
So
left,
anyway,
I think
I'm trying to I don't know, lost it.
there's one
Just
to the left.
because Just because it's above price doesn't make it supply.
Right. Just because it's above, right. There could be some demand levels up there, but by now, because price is already under it, price would have sliced through that demand level. Like there's a demand level, keep going to the right, keep going and stop. There's a demand level right there, right? But we don't mark it because if you look to the right, past that level, price has already come down and sliced through it. You see what I'm saying? So any zones that you would find in between there would already be invalid. That's why I look above and below price.
Okay, okay.
Mhm. So
So
yeah, that would be the first one right there.
here, yeah, okay. Even though this doji is,
And it's been
I mean,
tapped twice already. So I would keep going. You're right there. Yep.
okay.
Yep. Perfect.
And those are the only two, then you'd go down to the 4 hour
hmm
and then find more, starting at the price and making your way back.
Yep. And see, and the whole point is just to find the levels that are close to price that are gonna trigger, like that I can look to trigger to trade today.
Okay.
So yep,
This one is being triggered right now, or it was triggered here.
yeah, it was triggered twice already. It was tapped into twice.
Right
And I think
there.
the first time that it was tapped into, like invalidated it actually. Because that red candle went down through. Yep, it went down past where your zone would end.
And
So
then you would just call it like, so that level is not accurate. So we don't
yep,
have,
I would just say it's not an active level anymore. Yep.
this will be the next 4 hour.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then you go to the 3 hour, the 2 hour, the 1 hour, down
Yeah,
to
I go to all of them. But if it's I go to all of them. But if it's too much, like feel free to just chart a handful, like minute, hour, and then like pay attention to your larger ones, like the 12-hour and the daily. Just pay attention to where they are so you can know where like the really heavy, like support and resistance, the big, zones. When I say support and resistance, like for the daily, I just mean once you get, those really heavy hitters, like daily or weekly, they're going to be hard for price to get through right away. So it's good to just know where they are, even if you don't mark them on your chart.
Okay. And for your trades, when it's like on, because you said you trade on a 30-minute or higher,
hmm
do the trades always last like 5 minutes, or do they sometimes take the whole 30 minutes?
Oh, okay.
Longer than 30 minutes. Like, how does that work?
So the time frame that you're trading on just refers to how long it took those candles to form, how long it took that zone to be formed. But when you're actually trading, like I trade on the 5 minute and the 1 minute, and that how long your trade takes to play out really doesn't have anything to do with the zone's time frame. Um,
Wait, so I thought you said you didn't you don't trade on the 5 minute zone, but you will trade on the 5 minute time frame.
So I don't, so there's two things. Let's use two different like terms. We have charting. So I'll chart on a zone, which means drawing out zones. I chart on the 30-minute and above, but then I will trade, which means like actually buy and sell on the 5 minute or less. So I will draw out all my zones on the 30-minute or higher. But when it comes to actually pressing buy or sell and watching my trade, I'm doing that on the 5 minute. So I'm not drawing anything on the 5 minute.
Okay, so that's why, I was kind of confused about that. So
Okay.
you don't chart on the 5, but you will trade on the 5.
Right, right.
'Cause
I
it's
enter and
like in
exit.
and out.
Enter and exit looking at those smaller candles. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah, I think that's it for now for me.
Okay. Yep. So we got about 10 minutes. And anybody who comes in like talking, like don't feel bad about talking too long or asking questions. Like that's what that's what this is for. Especially since it's like no more really like one-on-one sessions, like use this to your advantage. Like I said, it's not going to be like it's a million people in here um at a time. So just use it to your advantage. I'll also be back in here tomorrow at 12.
How are you picking when to enter? I think that's still confused. I'm still confused on that. I've watched the videos like 4 times, but I
Mhm.
can't, it's just not clicking for some reason.
Okay. So all right. So your first trigger that will let you know that it's time to enter. I'm going to just use this as an example.
So I thought I had a really good, like I had a really good level, and then all of a sudden, I mean, I wasn't ready to trade, so I just watched it, but it like shot past that level, and I'm thinking if I would have done it, I think that would have been bad. So now I'm second guessing myself, like maybe I don't know when to enter.
Oh, okay. No, don't second guess yourself. It's just the fact of the matter, right? That it's, oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on. It's just the fact of the matter, right? That no trading strategy is 100%, right? Like nothing that we have is 100%. Like even if we have like 80, 85%, like there's some times where the levels just aren't going to work out. Like yesterday, there was a 4 hour level that I was like, man, I can't wait for it to get down here because I just love 4 hour levels. You know what I mean? But price just sliced right through it. So sometimes it's just not going to work, but it doesn't mean that you don't know. So practice, what I would say, hey, what just happened to mine? Your first indicator that you can enter a trade is going to be when it approaches the zone. That's always the first one. Step one, we're in the zone. I can enter the trade, right? That's step one. Now, after that, you want to look for some type of confirmation. The confirmation that I use is increased volume and increased candle bodies. So like this would have been a wick, a wick. You see like this is surrounded by wicks, but this gave me a really big candle body here. This one gave a strong candle body as well, up to the point where it got to the top. You see what I'm saying? And then it wicked down.
Okay.
Before, let me zoom in a little bit more. Whoop. Okay, not that much. But before this became along with, it was once a really big green candle body. Not only that, it gave me a spike in volume. You see that?
Yes.
So for me, that is my confirmation. So I'm not only am I at the level, but then I have my candle body confirmation and I have my volume confirmation. So that would have been all that I needed to enter. Now, you still have to manage your risk, right? I still have to recognize that my zone is this big. And what if price continues, through my zone? I have to be okay with whatever amount I risk. I have to be okay with losing that on the trade. Now, um, other people have other types of confirmation. So Nadell, she trades with Heiken Ashi candles and uses parts of those, for her confirmation. Some people might trade like EMAs or VWAP or something like that, indicators, and they use theirs for confirmation. But this is all that I use. So
So
we would
how would you decide when you actually, I mean, I know the risk comes into it, but when would you have entered? Or would like,
I would have entered on this candle.
okay,
Yeah, on this candle. After it crossed the threshold.
okay.
And sometimes I try to wait, I try to wait to see if we're going to go in because a lot of times, the amount of times lately that I've seen it just hit the level and go like exactly is not as much. Like last year, it was doing that a lot. But a lot of times this year, it comes up into the level, past the level a little bit by a couple points. So sometimes I try to wait, but like on this, I would not have waited, especially seeing this and seeing these two back to back. I would not have waited and I would have been in drawdown a little bit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Up to here. But I wouldn't have started like panicking or anything.
That helps.
Yeah.
Hey Candace, what news outlets do you watch for?
There's two of them that I like to use. US. Let me hold on. I'll paste them in here because I use Forex Factory and US Economic Calendar. The US economic calendar is the one that I paste into the announcements in the morning, but Forex Factory actually shows because like Forex and ICT, I don't know, they use something called there's a term they call it like red folder news. So what this site does, Forex Factory, if you click it, it has it's got the same news events as the top one, but there's like a colored folder or a colored calendar beside it, beside each one. And so yellow means like not a big deal. Orange means like medium, but red means like it's a big deal. If you're trading, you need to watch out for it.
Okay.
And so I wasn't paying attention today. We had that 10 o'clock news was red folder news, which is why we got that wild candle. Tomorrow and Thursday, we have 10 o'clock red folder news as well. Thursday at 8:30, we have red folder news also, unemployment claims. Dag, it's red folder news all week. Friday, we have it as well, but it's also 8:30.
Girl, but sometimes those I use financial juice. Sometimes I think it was this week or it was last week.
Mhm.
Market open like 9:45. There was just a spike.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
And it was one of those people that was speaking on the tariffs and prices spiked up.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like that's the problem. Like too bad we can't tell where it's gonna go. Because like it's so funny today, I was like, man, we have news at 10. I was like, but I want to enter some sales. And I didn't do it. And then that 10 o'clock candle spiked us way down. I was like, ah. But yeah. So these are the two. So you can I need to put it, I'm gonna add another like education channel. I just put like random tidbits in there. Maybe I'll put this one in the question and answer channel. It's not a lot of questions in there. Let's see. Also Friday, I'm supposed to be charting in the morning. I don't even think I'm gonna trade. I have an appointment. I had to make an unexpected appointment. So Friday morning I will not be here. I'll probably try to watch the charts, but I just won't be trading. And I have to leave the house at like 8:30. So I'll try to chart before then, but it might be like, you know, stale by the time the market opens.
Hey Candace, I was messaging you on TikTok, but I think I forgot about it. But you had asked me if I had received the email about the cancellation of the one-on-ones, and I received the email about the Discord, but I didn't receive the one about the one-on-ones
Oh, okay.
being canceled.
Yeah, let me go. Good. What's your email?
It's here. I'll type it in the chat for you. So
Okay. And I will go back through.
So, sorry, Candace, I don't think I received that email about the cancellation either for the one-on-ones.
Okay, let me go look because this is why I took my everyone got the email about the Discord though.
yes, I got that email.
Okay, yeah, I used a different provider for that. I used the actual member space provider.
Oh, I didn't get
ConvertKit,
that
I think,
email
was not
either with the
delivering or
Discord.
going to spam. Okay, Lovely, that's how you say your name?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll email both of y'all today.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep, I have a work meeting at 1, so it'll just be after that.
Okay, thanks.
Hey Candace, I have a question. I know we're about to get off, but I know we have that 30-minute demand zone drawn. Does it look like it's invalid now? Or what would
Let's see. Oh, this one? Mm-mm. It's
okay.
actually just now, it's actually just now getting triggered if I'm looking correctly. We're just not going into it. Um,
Okay.
where is it? Oh, hold on. Let me scroll through on the smaller time frames. Oh yeah, we're just now heading into it. Let me look at what the market is doing overall. Low, high, low, high, low, high. It looks like this one might be, if this one, yeah, if it closes, it's already come down and has closed below this little level right here, but I'm on the 1 minute. Let me go to the 5 minute. This is one of those ones where the trend could be changing. Let me take a look. Like you see how we're in an uptrend, we got low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher. No. But then we came down and closed below here. Well, we haven't closed yet on the 5 minute, but still. So yeah, I would be careful trading this one. Let me look. What time is it? 12:58. Yeah, when I was looking at this one, the zone was so wide. I wasn't looking at entering until we got closer to the 5 minute, but yeah, I'm not sure if this was the one I would take. But you got to be careful. You have to make your own decisions, girl, because you'll say they won't take it, and then you'll be like, I could have made 10 points off of that.
I'm done trading for the day. I was just looking.
Yeah. Especially since we're 2 minutes away from it also forming this supply right here. But see, sometimes I'm just wilding out and I would be like, oh, I'm about to take this. And then when it gets up to this supply zone, I'll take it all the way up to this supply zone that it created. You know what I mean? Like looking to yo-yo it back and forth. But yeah, that's all. I have to go join a work call. But see, look, girl. Oh my gosh. Nice bounce. But I have to go join a work call. But I will be back tomorrow at 12 if anybody has any questions. And Alexis and Lovely, I will email y'all shortly.
Thank
All right. Good
All
day.
right.
Thank you.
Bye.